an NBA Finals ready squad after their win over Utah, who has the best record in the league. Am I going to take heat for saying that I don't believe that the Sixers make the finals? And it's a lot to do with this guy. What you got here with Ben Simmons is 66% of a basketball player, right? Basketball has three basic tenets: one, running; two, jumping; and three, shooting. I think that, and this is going to sound racist, but whenever somebody, you ever notice when somebody says a statement like that? This is going to sound racist, but you're waiting for, when you hear that, you're waiting for the but. Yeah.
Let me hear it.
But I think that, not white privilege, but I think that Ben Simmons gets light skin privilege. Light skin privilege. Light skin privilege, because in his fourth year, we're sitting here waiting on that jumper, and they still keep giving him a pass. You know, Light Skin Brothers was in for a minute there. Maybe it's me, because when Light Skin Brothers was really in on the radio and everything, I was coming up and, you know, I was seeing them getting the play from the girls that I couldn't holler at, you know. Maybe that's me. So maybe I'm just still carrying that.
You just carrying that.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
What happens if the engine stops? We all freeze and die. But will it stop or will it stop? No, no!
It's the D Train with Darren, DeVoue.
Oh, I love that one. Such a tonic.
Hi, this is Mayor Mike Nutter. When I want the best in talk radio, I hop on the D Train.
Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us once again on the D Train with Darren DeVoue. As always, joined behind the glass by the man, the myth, Chester's Uncle P.
Yo.
Good morning, Uncle P.
What's up, bro?
As always, the D Train is brought to you in part by Aunt B's Country Kitchen, located at the Marketplace, 2300 West 4th Street in Chester. They pride themselves on providing savory comfort food, casual dining, and a hospitable experience that you will never forget. Available right now for takeout or have an event catered. Either way, when you eat a meal at Aunt B's Country Kitchen, you won't be disappointed. Go to auntbskountryKitchen.com to check out their menu and order, or call 484-474-6779. And when you pick it up, tell them you rode the D Train there. Aunt B's Country Kitchen, for food that you'll love. Yes, P. How are you doing this morning? You said good?
I'm great, brother. I'm great. No complaints. It's a rainy day. It's a little dreary, but you know, I got my baby with me.
Yeah.
You know, I got my two oldest daughters. They watching her while I'm doing the show, so you know, that's good math.
I was wondering if we were going to have an assistant. P had his adorable little daughter, Jordan, here at first when I walked in, and
She's just gonna slobber on everything.
Yeah, that thing when you kick in, when you're walking and you're doing something, and you see something cute like a little kid, and you're like, ooh, right. Oh, let's get on to our first story here, which is we're starting with everyone knows about the Eagles trade that took place this week. The Eagles Brain Trust, they traded back, and so they got the 12th pick. And so now, they have more picks, but now you're sitting there, and we've watched this before. We watched this with these cats, especially their behavior of late, Howie and Jeffrey Lurie. And you're sitting there looking at them like, oof, you're not having the best of trust right now. And actually, we actually have, from that picture right there, we actually have audio of that conversation where Lurie and Roseman are talking about moving what they've learned from the past and moving forward.
What did we learn?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
If I know what we did.
Yes, sir. It's hard to say.
So there you go.
Not to do it again. Not to do it again. But was it so bad, us moving back into the first round and getting a fourth round pick? And was it so bad?
I don't think so, because you figure mathematically you're picking up more picks. But
right.
However, you seen Roseman before, and like it's about the trust level on him. I mean, this is a guy who I'll never forget Danny Watkins. It'll be hard for him to still live that down.
It'll be hard for him to live down a lot of the picks that he had. But
Right.
I'm just hoping that now everybody knows it's on him. See, before we didn't have the acumen to say, oh, he's making all the picks. He's making all the decisions. Now we know it's him. So now it's all going to fall on him. If it busts, then it's on you. It's not on the coach.
Right.
It's not on the where you are the GM. So it's on
It's
you.
on you.
It's on you.
You made this mess.
Right. Now clean it up.
We'll see how it works out, though. We shall see. And moving on to the Sixers. Sixers GM Daryl Morey did make a trade that everyone, of course, suspected that he would. His reputation precedes him in that regard. Sixers picked up George Hill. Hill's a solid shooter, good ball handler, and plays defense. So it can't hurt, that's for sure.
40% three-point shooter, right, when wide open. And that's the one thing that Ben Simmons does do is he gets the look to the wide open. Like, they double-team on him when he's driving in.
Right.
And he can kick it out. So hopefully that's a good pickup, man.
It can't hurt.
I kind of want a Kyle Lowry, though.
A sentimentality.
Yeah. Bring him home. Bring him home. Let him rest at home. You know what I mean? But hopefully, my hopes are up for this 76ers team. Right. But last night's game kind of showed me, we might need a couple things, and we didn't have Joel Embiid.
Right.
So what are we? 10-9-2 in the last 11 games. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Next door, the Flyers. The Flyers, they broke a 4-game losing streak because in the meantime they were spiraling down the hole.
They were getting mopped. Honestly,
Day in and day out. Yeah, P's alluding to the 9-0. What was 9-0? 9-2, something like that.
9-3.
Yeah,
9-3, but it was 6-0. Right.
It was over from the opening puck drop. Yeah.
But when a team scores 9 goals on you, right? Because it's supposed to be almost impossible for you to score any more than 4 to 5 goals a game in hockey.
And that's with the rule changes.
And now you're like, these jokers put up 9 on you? Yeah. Oh, man, you suck. Yeah. you suck.
Mailed the day in.
Right.
Retired for the day before they even started. But, they broke their 4-game losing streak. But it seemed, they started off so strong. And the expectations going into this season after last season's finished,
right.
You thought you might have something here. Yeah. Man, it's tough to see them making the playoffs right now.
And I'm that person, right, for the Eagles, for the Sixers. The Sixers showed us, right? Okay. Trust the process. You have to have some crappy behind years, right? At least 4 or 5 of them to get the youth, get the exuberance back on the team. You have that coach. He rides out with him and gets them to where, and he gets them as far as he can get them. Right. And you go out and you hire a great coach like Doc Rivers, right? So the Sixers, to me, have that wherewithal to understand, all right, this is how this process works. Where the Flyers are always middling trying to make the playoffs. It's like, no, it's okay, even for the Eagles, to miss some playoffs. Because I don't want to go to the playoff and miss the first game. And lose the first game or the second. I want to win the Super Bowl. Right. So when we go to win. We don't go to lose. So let's be crappy. Let's pick in the top 5, top 6, trade back. You feel me? Grab some more players. We got 11 picks in this draft. So hopefully, he got 11 chances to pick a winner.
And back to the Phillies. The Eagles for one quick moment because this was the first time in 20. Ray Didinger said that this was the first time in 20-something years that they had a top 10. They've only twice in the past 20-something years they've had top 10 picks. Right. Those picks turned out to be Wentz and Lane Johnson. And those were good pick. Lane Johnson, yes, if he could stay healthy. Carson Wentz, he went through his thing. Right. Maybe he thought he was too big. Who, Wentz, you mean? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's not built for this. Not here. Definitely not. Oh, and the Phillies, we're going to keep it short. The Phillies, their season will begin this week? Yeah, baseball's here. Yeah, so go ahead. What do you think? I was going to say it'll just be, after last season, it'll just be nice to see the Phillies with a competent bullpen this season and what they can accomplish from there.
Absolutely. So they're talking about changing the rules of baseball, right? Where they're letting computers and everybody, no umpire, nobody calling balls and strikes, right? Okay. It'll be a computer, right? This commissioner is, I don't know. I guess he's trying to bring baseball back into a world where there's no, because there are tons of games that end in a person saying
so
out,
subjective.
right. So, but it's like, all right, so we take the human factor out of it.
Okay.
But does that make it a game? Is it a game now? Because it's like stringent rules. It's a strike, right? There is no question in it. It's definitely a strike. It's definitely a ball, right? So I think the pitchers have the relationship with the umpire. All right, I can play the outside of the plate. I could play around with that. With this computer, it's going to be straight balls and strikes, right? And now you got to step your game up, right? No more lacking and playing around with the umpire.
So you think walks or home scoring will go up with the computer?
I think scoring will go up with the computer.
Because the strikes only be tighter,
now
more regulated, more consistent.
You have to throw it down the middle.
Yeah.
Bro. Have to throw it down the middle. And there's no playing around with that. And if the computer doesn't see it, it's who you going to argue with?
Right.
The computer.
Right.
The computer ain't going to change his mind. It's a
all
ball
up
and
in the
strike.
screen.
Right. What's wrong with you? Like, oh, no, it's a strike.
Right.
It's a ball. Right. So, who knows, man?
Oh, yeah.
Things change, though. Things are definitely changing.
And, it's funny how technology, we see it like in our lifetimes, how technology has affected sports in general and as we watch them, yeah.
Absolutely.
We didn't need technology for our last sports story, though. Israel, UFC fighter Israel Adesanya, he apologized to another UFC fighter. Apparently, Mr. Adesanya threatened to rape this gentleman when he said something Adesanya found insulting. Israel was responding to allegations Gregory Holland made earlier this month when he said that at a press conference, he said he didn't want to talk about Adesanya because Adesanya has, quote unquote, one titty and it's because he takes steroids, end quote.
Ooh.
Yeah, so finally on Thursday, this past Thursday, Israel addressed the situation and admitted, after because he said, bro, I'll bleep and rape you on Instagram. And yeah, like, is there anybody in his entourage that would have said, yo.
No. But to be honest, right, they do spend a lot of time together.
Right.
MMA fighting is like jailhouse bathroom fighting to me. Right? Big Joker walking there, little Joker. You're like, yeah, you're going to get them cheeks up today. No, I'm not. Then they get the MMA fighting in that joint, right? So.
And that's the thing, too. I'm like, if you were going for trying to terrorize him or scare him, then, for me, like a guy who's, not that big, you say that to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to
rape you. You know what? You're right. My fault. I apologize.
Yeah.
I definitely apologize.
Oh, so Israel addressed the situation and admitted that he messed up. He said on Twitter, last weekend, fight talk escalated to a point in which I crossed the line. I understand the gravity of this word and how it can affect and hurt the other people apart from my opponent, although that was never my intention. Quote, he continued, I am still growing under the spotlight, and I take this as a lesson to be more selective with words under pressure, end quote.
Makes you wonder.
And that's the
Go ahead.
That's the thing that I said when, whoa, that's your go-to,
that's your line.
I'll
rape you.
Whoa, how'd that even occur to you in the first place?
And really, it makes you say, oh man, like maybe he was
maybe
he had a situation in his past. Wow.
But that's what happens when you talk too much stuff. Moving on to, I didn't read anything. Moving on to what I've been reading and watching. I didn't read anything this past week. I didn't really exercise my literacy muscles. I didn't keep them in shape this week. However, I did catch up on this new show. I mentioned before that about being a history buff, and there's a show, Drunk History. If you're not familiar with P, you familiar with Drunk History?
I've heard of it. I've seen it.
Okay.
I haven't really, dived deep inside of it, but I've seen it.
And actually, you'd be surprised at the number of stories, like they cover, so they go to a town, and then they'll get somebody juiced up, and
they'll talk about the historic
and narrating in a
right.
funny way.
Right.
And it seems like they record the audio, and then they shoot the reenactments, so that way the actors will be talking
in their voice, right.
So they go. So then actually, it's interesting to me how the number of obscure stories that they cover. There's so many. I was looking at it like, man, during Black History Month, and I was like, if I'd have been watching this during Black History Month, I'd be like, man, there's a bunch of little stories that the kids could use that are apart from, because teachers don't you show me no Martin Luther King for Black History Month, So there are plenty of stories in there in that show.
But are you saying that the history doesn't matter when you title it Drunk History? Because if you can't drunk Black history, like that's not gonna work.
No,
that's not gonna work. That's not.
That reminds me of a couple weeks ago when I brought up that show, Horrible Histories.
Right.
And P went for a moment on me.
Right.
But I was like, but then I couldn't, because of the hour change, my brain couldn't respond to tell him, but P, hold on. It's a funny show. They they cover things satirically. It's hard to be funny with the transatlantic slave trade.
It's absolutely hard to be funny.
So they probably stay away from that.
Stay all away from Black. Listen, we're not going to talk about the history of Black people in America. Just add a little bit of pepper every now and then. But we're not going to talk about the transatlantic slave trade.
Indeed. And then last week we talked about Brooklyn for a hot second, right? When we talked about the bridge, and that got me to thinking. So then, after we were done with the show, I was listening to Ray Dittinger and Glenn Mack now on WIP, and they were talking about there might be a new NC-17 version of Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, because Robin Williams apparently would just sit down and go off sometimes. He Mork and Mindy was mostly improv. They didn't really write scripts. They just let Robin Williams do his thing. Wow. Let the cocaine and his personality take over. But that got me to thinking, because there was this hilarious movie like late in his career, The Angriest Man in Brooklyn, that he did. It was, if you ever get a chance, check that out. But then that got me to thinking, when I started watching this documentary about Robin Williams, especially because his suicide, that really messed me up, because, this was a guy who my whole life had me in stitches.
Right.
I think I tore cartilage muscle laughing at him so much over his stand-up, the movies. Yeah. And so, what, for him to do that? So, yeah.
My uncle used to say, the person that makes you laugh the most is hurting the most inside.
Yeah.
Right? Their life is funny, but it's not funny to them. They're actually living in a lot of pain. So, a lot of these comedians, if you look at them, they don't always die in the best type of way, right? Because their life is so tragic. Even though they're funny to us, their life is full of tragedy.
Or they take the pain and make it funny. I saw this one. I didn't even think of him as a comedian, but part of the Jackass crew, Steve O.
Okay.
He had a stand-up routine that I saw, and it was scarily funny how he covered how him and his mother were discussing her assisted suicide. And he somehow managed to make that whole situation funny in a way. I was impressed by that, but it took some comic chops. Right. Oh, but that brings us to the end of our first block of the D Train. What's the time, P? 9:19. Oh,
9:19.
Right on schedule.
Right.
As always, the D Train is brought to you in part by B's Country Kitchen, located at 2300 West 4th Street, the marketplace. If you've ever been there, they pride themselves on providing savory comfort food, casual dining, and a hospitable experience that you will never forget. Takeout or have an event catered, either way, when you eat at B's Country Kitchen, you won't be disappointed. That reminds me, Pete, I did not, after we got out of here last week, I did not get my little Peabody. That's going to happen this morning.
It's going to happen this morning?
It's on. I'm having a vision of my future and they're seeing me eating at seeing me eat a little Peabody at Aunt B's. Go to auntbscountrykitchen.com to check out their menu and order, or call 484-474-6779. And when you pick it up, tell them you rode the D train there. Aunt B's Country Kitchen, for food that you'll love.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
Passengers, this is not a shoe. This is disorder. This is size 10 chaos.
Tired of being stuck on 76, 95, 476, 222. You get the picture. Anyway, jump on this train.
Our first story is a little bit local here. It started this summer, faded away, and now it's starting to pick up steam again. I'm talking about ATM explosions. There was one in Chestnut Hill this week, and there have been a series of them that happened this summer. The most recent one was December up until this past week. The bombings are insane because guys are, they're jacking dynamite into an ATM. And then I kept reading these stories, Philly area. So it got me to thinking, is this exclusive to the Philly area? So then I started doing a little digging. In 2018, 2019, there was a guy, 3 bombings in Tampa Bay. On the third one, he finally got money. According to the report he got to the Tampa Bay, reporting the Tampa Bay Tribune, he got nearly $70,000. He had an accomplice with him. So, okay, we're going to be doing some math in a moment here. So he got nearly $70,000 on his third attempt. Their fourth attempt, then they wound up getting arrested in Georgia for trying to blowing up another ATM. They didn't get any money there. So out of 4 bombings, they got 2 of them. They got nearly $70,000. Okay, so that's not even $35,000 a piece. All right, now let's subject the gas, getting down from how they got from South Carolina down to Tampa. All right, let's subtract overhead for lodging and subtract overhead for food. So $35,000.
And the explosive they had to pay.
Yes, thank you, Pete. Thank you. So by that point, you're probably, what do you think they spent? Probably $3,000 out of the $35,000 that they're gonna have.
$3,000 a piece, so they both had $32,000.
You might as well get a job, fellas. Just get a couple of jobs.
We must, all of us, on this train of life, remain in our allotted station.
It's time for the D train with Darren DeVoue,
The divine keeper of the sacred engine.
Hello, this is Governor Ed Rendell. When I want the best talk radio, I just hop on the D train, take you all the way down to the sports complex.
Yes, welcome back, folks, to the second block of the D Train. Thank you to Tyrone and Breon for joining us. Shout outs to them. As always, joined by Uncle P behind the glass.
Yo.
And as always, the D Train is brought to you in part by the Browning Group. The Browning Group is a full-service, licensed, insured, and bonded private investigative security and processing servicing firm that offers a variety of services throughout the state of Pennsylvania. They specialize in criminal, civil investigation, witness statements, surveillance, workers' comp, investigations, and security guard services. Browning Group also provides service of legal documents. Their services are designed to cater to insurance companies, attorneys, businesses, and private individuals. At the Browning Group, each case is conducted with professionalism and expedience, so you receive the best possible service at all times. Call 1-800-939-2978 or go to thebrowninggroup.llc.com and tell them you rode the D train there. That reminds me, I used to have an old show, the D Train to the Sports Complex, and that's where I chased down Rendell and chased down Nutter, like, hey, say this into this microphone for me.
Right.
I got to do that. I got to get back to that now.
Yeah, you got to get back to that.
Refresh that, because it's a little dated.
It's definitely a little dated. It's definitely a little dated, but it's still there. You still did it. Right?
Okay.
So still use it.
Oh. Let's get to the police blotter section of the show. This week, or right after last week, after we ended last week, police ID a carjacking suspect who led Philadelphia officers on a chase into South Jersey. And this comes to us from 6ABC. 26-year-old Shamika Brown Palmer of Philadelphia is accused of carjacking and shooting a driver around 7 p.m. Monday in West Philadelphia. She's currently being held in Camden County Jail on drugs, weapons, and eluding the police. According to Chief Inspector Scott Small, she shot a 28-year-old man who was behind the wheel of his car. She shot him once in the back after getting into an altercation. According to Small, she jumped into the victim's Chevy Equinox. They had a physical altercation, and that's when the female shot the 28-year-old driver. He jumped out of the car after being shot, and that's when she jumped in the driver's seat and
peeled off. She was out.
She was out. Brown Palmer was later spotted in Southwest Philadelphia and led officers on a chase out of the city and onto Route 42 in the victim's Chevy Equinox. They didn't say, how did she get to Jersey? I'm just dying to know, did she take the Whitman or did she take the Franklin? I'm thinking she took the Franklin. No,
I mean,
no. Okay.
Whatever bridge serves you correct. You need to hop on a bridge.
Right. Brown was later spotted she led them on into Philadelphia. She was arrested a short time later after losing control of the vehicle. She slammed into a
guardrail.
Yeah, guardrail and tree, and that's when they got her. A detective said an hour before the carjacking and 5 blocks away, the suspect reportedly tried to break into another car, but was unsuccessful. Said Small, the owner of the vehicle that was broken into confronted this female, and that's when the female fled on foot. The owner chased the female, and that's when Brown turned around and let off 5 shots at her. Wow. She didn't hit her, but still. Wow. I'm sorry, but this woman during Women's History Month, I mean, she's a pioneer. She broke the glass ceiling on carjackings.
Usually as men.
You men no longer have this on lock to yourself. No. Shamika Brown Taylor is coming in here, baby, breaking into this game. Show you what's what.
You got to shoot some people, fire some shots at some people. I'm just trying to figure out how the brother got shot.
Oh, yeah, right. In the back.
She got in the car.
She got in the car, so I'm assuming they're scuffling. And
right.
Maybe she has. Oh, yeah.
How you shoot him in the back? I say he was getting out of the car and she shot him in the back. He was already getting out the car.
Okay.
She was like, yo, this is a carjacking. He was like, oh, no. He goes to hop out and she's like, bam. He one in the back. Right? And she shoot him in the back, which is not funny.
Right.
It's absolutely not funny. But the situation could be seen as comical. And I hope the brother's all right, man. I really
actually,
he
was. He's fine. He's doing all right. The victim's in the hospital, but
awesome.
Oh, and a potential mass shooting by another angry white man. Oh, hell's bells! This guy's black. Oh, damn. Oh, this young fella here. This Atlanta police say they arrested this guy, Rico Marley, 22, who brought multiple guns into Publix grocery store at the Atlantic Station Wednesday afternoon. Look at, He looks a little off here, though. Oh, shit.
He does. I don't see him looking off. I think he looks like, he looks.
This is a good man, right? He's got the magic eye. I can see.
Definitely has the magic eye.
He's got the magic eye.
Look me in my eyes, son. Yeah, you gone.
Yeah. He walked into the store after 1:30 p.m. holding a rifle. He then went into the bathroom. This happened days after 10 people were shot and killed inside the grocery store in Colorado. 6 guns and ammo were found on the suspect, who also wore body armor when police arrived. So he intended to be confronted by law enforcement, it looks like. It's possible that something could have happened, said Charles Russell, who saw the armed man inside of the bathroom and alerted employees and police. This is the good part. I saw an AR-15 and I was like, it's kind of startled me. Just again, when events that recently happened in Colorado, Russell said. He said he propped the gun up against, like it was nothing, like laying his umbrella down, like, oh, let me go into the stall real quick.
Yeah. And he went into the stall?
Yeah. Had to check on his other guns too, right?
Make sure everything was ready.
Oh, and this is a look here at his arsenal we got up on the screen.
Yo, he definitely had an arsenal, bro.
Oh my goodness.
A shotgun, an AR-15, 4 handguns.
Right.
Clips
for days, yeah.
Right. 2 phones.
And yeah, how about that?
2 phones and a knife. Is that a knife?
In case things got in close, huh? Yeah, he's got a knife there.
And a knife. Looks like a nice knife. Oh, well.
What's up with the 2 phones?
Well,
one for mama and one for law enforcement?
Wow.
When the situation gets sideways?
I don't know.
Okay.
Everybody has their own reason for 2 phones.
Right.
I have 2 girlfriends.
Right.
You have 2 boyfriends.
Right.
2 jobs, right?
In our next story, an Indiana man went all the way down to Florida to do something very Florida. Headline, the drunk man leaves kids in Florida hotel room with loaded rifle. Passes out. And this comes to us from NBC2 in Southwest Florida. According to Pasco County Sheriff's Office, this gentleman, Michael Shackley, 40 years old, of Hart, Indiana, was arrested Saturday after he was found passed out in his vehicle while 3 children were in his hotel room with a loaded rifle. According to the arrest report, he was passed out in the driver's seat with the keys in the ignition at the Roadway Inn. And when deputies approached him just before midnight, deputies said Shackley was slurring speech and smelled like alcohol when he told them he couldn't remember his room number. 25 feet away was his room. And that's when, clearly visible through the window, investigators noticed the AR-15 rifle laying on an Army duffel bag.
They carry guns like it's normal, like it's everyday. So I don't
like. What do you? I've heard of stories of guys like getting into trouble going into Disney World with guns on them. I'm like, you went on vacation with your family packing? Like, what is that?
It's
like,
a right to bear arms. I have a right to bear arms whenever and wherever I am.
I don't think that's what they meant when
that's exactly what they meant.
I don't know, but you think so?
A right to bear arms.
Well, but well-regulated militia part.
If you're not a part of a group makes a militia. He's by himself. He wasn't associated with 15 or more people. A group makes a militia. One person can't make a militia.
Right.
So he has his gun. Is he not allowed to have his gun? Is he not allowed to leave the gun in the room with the kid?
I've never seen any pictures or, paintings of the founding fathers from back then that had the sidearm on their hip.
They didn't have guns like that. They had big muskets.
And that's what I'm saying. Like back in the day when it took 2 minutes to load a gun, that's when I think they wrote that the way they did. If they could see what carnage that can be created nowadays, they'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. I say if everybody carries a gun, nobody carries a gun. If everybody has a gun, nobody feels superior.
I say if everybody's got a gun, somebody's getting shot.
Somebody's definitely getting shot, but nobody feels superior. If I walk into a room, if
I have a superior gun to your gun,
it's still a gun.
Okay,
my bullet can still hurt shit. A 22 will kill you before A 9 will go through you. The 22 will bounce off your bones
Right.
inside of you. You know
Like
what
a
I mean?
pinball.
Yeah, but you have Arizona. They're allowed to carry guns inside the bank. Imagine a bank robber coming in and all of the customers have guns on their hip.
Okay.
This is oh no. Hey, how you doing? My name is Ralph.
Yeah.
This is Ralph. I was gonna say this is Ralph, and he walks right back out, right? Because everybody in there is armed.
You get your head blown off.
Right, you get your head blown off by a complete stranger. You don't have the eyes to watch everybody around you.
Okay.
You know, so I personally, you know, I'm different when it comes to gun ownership.
I see.
Right, because I feel like that's the one thing that we have.
You're like Killer Mike. This is a Second Amendment family here.
Yes. Carry your gun. Express your right to have a gun.
Okay.
I think is now teach your children how powerful the gun is and how to break the gun down and how to clean it is one thing, as opposed to just owning a gun.
Okay.
Right, and you don't know how to break it down. You're not even thinking about none of that stuff. Like no. There's power in a gun. Right. And a lot of us don't know what type of power that is. So, you know, that's why we out here using it. We holding them sideways. We firing them at whoever. And there it is.
And maybe that's what Shackley had already taught to his kids, and he thought it was okay to leave them around with the loaded rifle. No? Maybe? All right. Hotel staff said hotel staff said that a man and woman were arguing and yelling about a rifle in the room. The woman told the deputy she received a text message saying Shackley was drunk again and the children needed to be picked up. They didn't specify Shackley's relationship to the children in the article, but I wonder if, now when the cops walked up on him while he's drunk in his car, I wonder if he'd have been okay if he'd have been in his passenger seat and with the keys not in. Because then that way he's not signaling an intention to drive the car.
Who knows that they should be in the passenger seat if the key's not in the car?
Oh man, I'm waiting for Jimmy. He's coming to pick
me. My man
he
just
ran
put
right
me in
into the
car.
room. He said
Right.
he'd be right back.
Right.
You know.
I don't know, but you see, that's an excuse. That's a person that knows what they're doing is wrong.
Okay.
See, I would know that. I would know that.
I knew they took the steps already.
Let me get over here in the passenger seat and drink and take my keys out the car. Like, you know, I'm not the driver of this car. It's your car, but I'm not the driver.
Right.
I'm
Not
the
tonight.
passenger.
My designated driver. Where is he, officer?
I've broken down on the highway and hopped in the driver's seat waiting for the police. Oh, the driver went to go get gas. Right.
Oh, with our next story, here's a question for the audience. This gentleman created a scary incident terrorizing residents at a hotel in Raleigh, North Carolina. What is he holding in his right hand?
We got to get closer.
What is he holding in his right hand?
Is that a gun?
Try a chainsaw. A chainsaw. Jacob Vandenberg, 27-year-old, had a court appearance this past Monday. He's charged with threatening others with a chainsaw at a Raleigh hotel. Police surrounded the Red Roof Inn in Raleigh after responding to a disturbance call on Saturday night. The man used a chainsaw to menace victims, threatened several people, but no one was hurt. Garner Police, this is the funny part for me, Garner Police, next township over, confirmed that with WRAL that a chainsaw was stolen from an area Lowe's home improvement office store. Okay. And the windows were, he broke through the windows at the Lowe's and then eventually went to the hotel, threatened people with the chainsaw, then left. The motives surrounding the man's actions are not known. Vandenberg is charged with second-degree kidnapping, 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, going armed to the terror of the public. What does that even mean? 4 counts of injury to real property, felony larceny of a firearm, and disorderly conduct.
Hold on. He had a gun as well?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I was already impressed by his stick-to-itiveness. I mean, that would really get somebody's attention. I mean, it's one thing to wave a gun in somebody's face. You know, you don't know if it's loaded or whatnot.
How close you got to get to me. A gun is dangerous because you can shoot me from across the hall.
Right.
You're not throwing a chainsaw.
But if you waving a chainsaw, I'm like, whoa, this guy's serious.
Seriously about to go cut down a tree. A tree is about the only thing that you can hurt with a chainsaw, unless you had me tied up and roped up, and it's like that scene in Scarface. How long was he cutting on the bull before he even thought about cutting on Tony Montana? Like, he's playing around. The theatrics of a chainsaw
right, exactly.
can scare you. But when you think about it, if you're in there with a chainsaw and I'm in this room, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I'm running. You're not going to throw the chainsaw at me. Like, it's not going to work like that.
I give him points for trying something different. No? No. All right. Speaking of trying something different, Simi Valley, this next story comes to us from Simi Valley in California. This is John Piani. He was arrested Friday as he was arrested on suspicion of dealing narcotics, specifically heroin. And so when investigators heroin and methamphetamines. So they show up to his crib to arrest him. And at the time of his arrest, Piani was operating a drone. So police said when they recovered the remote-controlled aerial device, they found suspected heroin attached to it.
He was delivering heroin with the drone. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And as a customer, as a man in customers as watching him as a businessman in customer service, I like where his head was at. Right. He's getting his product to the custoster quickly and expeditiously.
What? With a drone.
With a drone.
Yeah, that's major.
Your heroin is outside, sir.
Yeah. Your heroin's at the door. Just grab it from the drone and put the money inside. That's crazy. With technology, it has made the art of drug dealing, right, in the different ways to get your money and deliver your product. It has made it very interesting.
And that's why I think eventually we're going to get to a point where each drone will have to be registered. I've heard talk of it like a year or two ago where you would have to register your drone with the FAA.
Right.
But I think with stuff like this, that'll eventually come, and they're going to be trying to track these things because people will be using them for all kinds of activities.
But then you can't tell what they're using them for. Right? Just because it's registered, you don't know. It's like a gun. It's registered. You don't know what he's using it for. He could be robbing people every day.
Right.
Right? But, it's going to be hard. And, drones come from, the war, right? They were using them over there. And then they say, oh, let's make them commercialized and sell them to people. And you could drop a bomb on somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, you could set it up with some machine guns and just go in there and shoot a whole bunch of people with a drone and nobody was ever there.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like playing a video game almost.
That's absolutely crazy.
This one small step in criminal justice reform. This is the Baltimore State Attorney Marilyn Mosby, and she announced this week that she's going to stop prosecuting drug possession, prostitution, and minor traffic violations, and other other low-level offenses. That was a move. At first, it was a move aimed at curbing the prison population during the pandemic. But then the shift reduced jail populations. But then they found that nearly all categories of crime have since declined in the 12 months since she first ordered the scaled-back law enforcement. Violent crime is down 20%. Property crime is down 36%. And she said homicides inched down, although Baltimore is still one of the nation's highest in homicide rates among cities nationwide. Confirming to Mosby, that data confirmed to Mosby what she and criminal justice experts have argued for years. Crackdowns on quality of life crimes are not necessary for stopping more serious crimes.
No, they're not. They're not.
So suck on that, Rudy Giuliani.
Nah, listen, honestly, when you think about the people that have money invested in prisons, they want people arrested.
Right.
Arrest more people. Oh, he got 2 bags of weed. He got 40 bags of weed. He got 50 bags of weed. He's a drug dealer, right? Oh, she's out here prostituting. Lock her up.
And that's a victimless crime as far as I see.
But if someone called me and said they wanted something and I brought it to them, we have an agreement, an arrangement to buy something and for them to use it. There's no crime there. The only crime is the fact that I'm not paying you taxes.
Yeah.
So give me a 1099 form. Like, honestly, like you look over in Amsterdam and how nice it is over there, how nice the area is, and they just over there playing with all types of drugs.
Right.
LSD,
Everything,
cocaine, heroin, mushrooms, everything, but no crime. Why? Because you're letting people do what they want to do.
And don't forget the prostitution.
And the prostitution, a red like this, I'm trying to get over there as soon as possible.
P doesn't stand on prostitution. He lays on it.
He lays on it.
And Fridays, so many prosecutors have maintained their pandemic suspension levels, and they're going to most be saying that this, which was at first meant to curb the prison populations because of the pandemic, is going to be more permanent now.
Right.
She also faced questions about federal investigations into her campaign, though. Her campaign finances, as well as the finances of her husband, who is a city council person. Her attorney called the investigation politically motivated. Oh, that worries me when they say something. This is politically motivated. That means there's something there.
It definitely could be something there. She might have bought a car or paid for her kids to go on vacation with the money, right? You know, things that she wasn't supposed to do.
Right.
So let's just make sure she's shored up and she's doing everything the right way.
And that makes me wonder, too. That's another thing that makes me wonder if there isn't something there where she was like, well, they're investigating me. You know what? Let's give the people what they want.
Right. Give them drugs. Give them drugs. Listen, we got the people on our side. We can't lose.
Exactly. This is a strategic move. This got me, though, but reading this story got me curious about the homicide rates and per capita. So I looked that up. And I found, this was a 2000, this was updated in December 29th of this past year. It was the top 30 cities in the U.S. murders per cap. Number 30 was Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, which I was surprised by.
Why would you be surprised? You didn't know.
My mind couldn't, like you with the sauce.
Right.
With you with the sauce on the gyro. You know, it was like, you just couldn't,
what is this?
Right.
Why is it? But that's typically how it goes, right? They don't talk about East Stroudsburg or Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania being number 30 per capita in murder, but, I guess there's a mixed population up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 27 was Harrisburg.
Oh.
Number 12 was Wilmington, Delaware. And number 2, Chester, Pennsylvania. Come on, Chester. Step your game up. You know you don't settle for second place in this town.
We're not doing that.
Oh, my bad.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. No.
Oh, that's the overachiever in me.
That's the overachiever in you. Like, let that go. Let that go real quick. Right. But what do you expect?
And Chester's number was at this time, again, it was updated in December of last year, per 10,000 people, 6.74 murders per 10,000 people.
6.7, so 6 people died per 10,000
Almost
people.
7 if you round it up, really. Right. And you're like, holy smokes, but there's only is there 50,000 people in this town?
There's 34 to 36,000.
Sugar honey iced tea.
But you're talking about that's 21 people out of 34,000, and that's a pandemic. That's a reason to call them number 2.
Yeah. Be like, but numbers. Why? When you really do the math, we're not doing.
But out of 10,000 people, you said 7 people, so that's 9,993 people that are alive.
Okay. On the bright side,
you want to count the 7?
No. Okay. I was just surprised by it, though.
Right. And when they put it out there,
like that,
the people of that ilk are happy. Yeah, we number 2. Yeah. Murder. No. Chester, Pennsylvania. No. That's not good.
Right.
That's not good because we're killing each other. No one is killing us. We're killing each other. Right. So.
And lowering property values.
Right. Absolutely. We're not working for us. We're working for them. Right.
Oh, is that our last story of the second block? Okay. That brings us to the end of our second block. As always, the D-Train is brought to you in part by the Browning Group. The Browning Group is a full-service, licensed, insured, and bonded private investigative and security process firm that offers a variety of services throughout the state of Pennsylvania, specializing in civil investigation, criminal investigation, witness statements, surveillance, workers' comp, security guard services. The Browning Group provides services designed to cater to insurance companies, attorneys, businesses, and private individuals. At the Browning Group, each case is conducted with professionalism and expedience, so you receive the best possible experience at all times. Call 1-800-939-2978 or go to thebrowninggroup.llc.com and tell them you rode the D train there.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
He doesn't have expert opinion. He's an expert at giving his opinion.
Moving on to our next story, CPAC was last weekend. There was a controversy regarding the presentation. The stage resembled this Nazi symbol. I don't understand where all this rallying around the losing sides. Like the Confederacy, the Nazis, and two, the guys that celebrate those Nazis and Confederates, I don't understand them and dedicate all their hate, because my thing is, I'm not gonna go righteous black man. I'm just thinking, you know what else you could be doing with your time? You can't even enjoy a meal. You're sitting there so full of hate, and they're like, Lord, bless this meal. Hopefully, Lord, give us the speed to get it from the plate to our mouth before some Mexican or Negro comes and steals it.
It's the D train.
In the beginning, order was prescribed by your ticket. First class, economy, and freeloaders like you.
With Darren DeVoue.
If we ever go outside the train, we'd all freeze and die. If the engine stops running, we'd all die.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our last block of this week's episode of the D Train with Darren DeVoue. Thanks again for joining us. Our first month, P. First 4 shows in. All right, first month. This train is building momentum, so thank you for listening and working with us as we grow. And especially P. P, always, as always, making an entrance. Right. Joined behind the glass by Chester's own Uncle P.
What's going on, family?
As always, the D Train is brought to you in part by the Mad Greek. Go on the Mad Greek on... lost the address. The Mad Greek on 2805 Chichester Avenue on Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania. They have a delicious variety of Mediterranean food, gyros, falafels, kebabs, and salads. Check out their menu at madgreekpa.com or to call 610-494-0400 to order the Mad Greek, delicious and fresh deliciousness. P, have you ever had falafel?
I have never had falafel.
Shut the front door.
Why I gotta shut the front door?
Okay. Well, we're gonna change that. I'll bring in some falafel.
No, we're not. After that last thing.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. I'm just playing. But yeah, I've never had a gyro or a gyro or a gyro or a falafel.
Okay.
Then you brought me the gyro or whatever it was called.
Right.
And it just, I have to see them make it.
Okay.
And they have to talk to me about what's going in it. Before you bring me one, it's like, yo, what is this white stuff on this? What is? Oh.
And you know what? I should have prepped you better. Like, right. You know, when you're reading
a
cookbook,
here, take this.
Yeah, I did kind of. That was on.
Like, what the fuck is this? Pause. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss on your show, but like, what the? I opened it up. I'm like, yo, what is? It's got French fries on it. I grabbed a little piece of the meat. I bit a piece off, and my stomach it kept on asking, what is this white sauce?
You know what? I should have prepped you. That's on me.
What is this white sauce? Where does it come from? Who made it? Did you see the people that made it? No, I didn't see. Well, I'm not eating it. And then my stomach said, I said, no, I can't eat that. My stomach is picky, bro.
Okay.
Right. I eat the same thing almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Yeah, I need that variety. Right. Have you ever went into the cupboard to look for something, seen those mouse droppings, and thought, oh, damn, I have mice?
I have, and I actually, I got some mice traps. So when I catch a mouse, just know that I'm going to torture it.
Okay.
Just know that.
Future serial killer.
Yeah, I'm not a future serial killer. I'm not going to kill humans. It's just mice I do not like.
Well, I tell you what, you don't have mice. You've never had mice. Like, they've got mice in Australia right now. Reuters is reported that a large rural portions of inland New South Wales and Queensland are being overrun by millions of mice, which have taken over farmland, homes, stores, hospitals, and even cars. There's mice everywhere. Everywhere.
That is nasty.
That is, can you imagine?
Oh, my God.
Rodent expert Steve Henry told Reuters, quote, you can imagine that every time you open a cupboard, every time you go to your pantry, there are mice present, and they're eating into your food containers. They're fouling your clean linen in your cupboard. They're running across your bed at night. Oh, God, that would be the worst, especially when you're trying to sleep. And they're eating into eating. Oh, wait. Eyewitness video obtained by Reuters showed thousands of tiny rodents swarming around a farm in the town of Gilgandra. Farmer Ron McKay, told the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, at night, the ground is moving with thousands and thousands of mice just running around. It's like straight out of that movie, Ben. It's like real life, though. It's right there. Farmers who made hay bales for the winter expect to lose many to the fast-producing rodents. Local media reported that just one pair of mice can average up to 500 offspring in a season. So if you've got one, or if you got two,
you got 1,000.
Yeah, there you go.
If you got 4, you got 2,000. If you have 1,000, listen, from that 1,000 comes 1,000,000.
And there you go.
There you go. That's how it starts. So you have to poison them from the rip. So you put down the little glue traps. They get caught on the glue traps. You pull them off, and you let it be known. This house is not for sale. I need you to tell your homies.
Right. Spread the word.
Spread the word. You're going to be the first one. And you kill it, and you hang it up right out front.
Oh, one lady's son caught 136 in one day. 136 in one day.
And they some big ass mice.
Yeah,
they not no little mice.
And as you can see, they're feeling. Yeah,
they're not little mice. Like these are almost cousins to rats.
Yes, big old country rats.
Right.
They had a surplus in
Australia.
They had a surplus crop in Australia, so intensive baiting programs that's why the mice have been able to flourish like they have, because there was extra stuff laying around for them to eat and infest. So far, they've had an intensive baiting program that's had little success against the infestation, and locals are hoping for heavy rain to drown the mice in their burrows.
Mice can swim?
Yeah, they sure enough can. And they'll use each other as a raft. They've seen that.
Oh, Bobby didn't make it. Well, you better hop on Bobby and get the moving. But no, honestly, poison them. Set it all on fire. See what happens during this pandemic when everybody's in the house and mice flourish.
Right. How about that? Because now we're creating more mess at home.
Right. More trash. Yep. This
next story is about the pettiness that resides in almost all of us. A gentleman was paid. The gentleman got his last pay in pennies. In his last paycheck, over 90,000 oil grease covered pennies were at the end of his driveway earlier this month. This was Georgia man Andreas Flatten, and his former employee owed him $915. I guess he told him, I want every last penny, and the dude said, okay. Okay.
You gonna get every last penny.
Yeah, I got you. Atop the pile was an envelope with Flatten's final pay stub and an explicit parting message. In mid-March, Flatten said as he left his home with his girlfriend, he noticed the pile at the end of his driveway, and he said pennies were covered with some sort of oily substance. Now his nightly routine consists of cleaning the pennies so he can cash them in. He said it took him about an hour and a half to clean off several hundred. I think it's going to, said Flatten, I think it's going to be a lot of work for money I've already worked for. That's definitely not fair. The owner of the shop, Mike Walker, spoke with WGCL briefly, stating he didn't know if he did or didn't drop the pennies off at Flatten's house. I can't say whether I did or I didn't.
Just know that he got his check.
He got his check, right? He got it. Okay, then.
Wow.
With that many pennies, we're bound to find. He and Flatten's girlfriend, Olivia Oxley, said she hopes her new boyfriend's story sheds light on how people are, quote, treated so poorly by their employers. With that many pennies, they figured that they can find a treasure in there. After the first shovelful, all we could do was laugh because the poor, miserable man took so much time to be vindictive and cruel.
No, he didn't. He didn't take that much time. He went there and asked for $900 in pennies.
Right. With the wheelbarrow.
With a wheelbarrow. And they gave him $900 in pennies.
Oh.
We ain't doing nothing with the pennies anyway.
I want every last penny. I got you.
And he got them. Don't drop no pennies.
Right. And actually, yeah. Listen, our next story, you remember this little spitfire of an elderly lady from last week. This is Zhao Zhenji. When last we saw her, she was beating the snot out of some guy who had assaulted her while she was minding her business in San Francisco. She got $1 million on a GoFundMe account for her medical expenses. And now she's going to donate that. She's going to donate most of it. Nearly all of the $1 million. Her grandson said that she insists on donating the money to help diffuse racism against Asian American community. She was attacked in San Francisco's Market Street last week, and the morning after 6 women of Asian descent were killed in a shooting rampage in Atlanta. Like I said, she was sitting around waiting for him. She was, I wish him. She would.
But this isn't the first time they have to deal with this.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Especially over there.
Right. World War II.
Yeah.
Right? They were putting them in camps and everything else. Like, everything that they were doing to them. And, I feel for them. And this is what happens when the minorities of this country don't stick together. Mm-hmm. Right? Then the person that feels as though they're in power, the person that I'm represented in the Congress, in the Senate, in the White House. I'm represented. You're not. Right? The first Asian, person is. So, when the Asians, the Spanish, and the Africans don't come together, because we're the closest related.
Right.
We're related more than we're not related. When we don't come together, this is what happens, right? They pick us apart one by one.
Oh, yeah. And, I've noticed that before, like when I was in college. I didn't really know that until I was in college one time. And with this girl. We were talking, and I was trying to, holler at her at this conference. And so she was from Hofstra. She went to Hofstra. I'm at Mansfield University. I'm trying to holler at her, but then I see a little keychain saying she's African. That's when I knew. I was like, uh-oh. She about to get frigid on me.
Right.
She about to get frigid on me. And then so I just like, the hell with it. Right. And then I asked her, like, why is it that sometimes y'all don't, intermix with? And she said how the way they look at us sometimes. And I was shocked to think, like, wow, but I don't understand that because over here, we all is in the same boat, But, yeah.
No, I have opportunities when I come here.
Yeah,
I don't sit back and wait for someone to hand me something.
Right.
And that's why I say everybody asks me, am I Republican or Democrat? I'm Republican. Why? Because I don't believe in all the ways that the Democrats take care of us.
Oh, yeah.
All the systems and bigger government and being in control of this and that. So, the Republicans are like, nah, get up and get that shit from your bootstraps, bro.
I don't know. I wouldn't call you a Republican. There's some things that you're liberal about. Like most people, there's some things that you're liberal about and things that you're conservative about. I don't think anybody can be that 100%.
100%.
Stick to the ideology thing.
Right. And I say I don't agree with anything that Trump was saying, but the way they form their systems, I agree with that.
Okay.
Right. Less is more.
Yeah. James Brown was a big old Republican.
Right. Less is more. And anybody that likes their money and likes things done the right way, they're gonna ride out with the Republican.
Seems like in our next story, seems like once a week a hot mic is taking somebody down. This week, the Southwest pilot launched into a tirade as this comes to us from KPIX in San Francisco. This plane was departing Mineta San Jose International Southwest Airlines, and the pilot was caught on an open mic delivering an expletive-filled rant against the liberal Bay Area. So said the pilot, F this place, G damn liberal, F's, 8 guns out there, someone as it is. Effing weirdos, probably driving around in effing Hondas, effing roads, and S that go slow as F. Now,
there's a lot of F's.
Yeah, right. Right. And I'll tell you what upsets me about this. I drive a Honda. Excuse me, sir. I have to take exception with that. I drive a Honda, and it has a sport drive mode. It can go fast as a Saab almost. You're exaggerating. Actually, I was surprised in this story to find out how, because what happened was this story, the audio was archived at Live ATC, a website that live streams and records air traffic control transmissions. So that's all on the public record. I didn't know you could just access that quickly and easily like that. Southwest spokesperson told KPIX5 that the person heard in the audio was an airline employee. The FAA is investigating communications that an airline pilot made while taxiing at Mineta San Jose International Airport, read the statement. The FAA also reported this incident to the airline, concluded the statement. So, yeah, he's in a little bit of hot water because you're not allowed to talk about anything that isn't, you can't talk on the radio, they said, while the plane is taxiing, or while you're below 1,500 feet, I think, about anything that isn't safety related. So you can't be on there and say, oh, you know what, that reminds me, I got to pick the kids up.
No. But he went a little further.
Right?
Absolutely.
But the mic is always hot. Just if you see a mic in front of you,
just imagine that it's on.
Yes.
I didn't know it was still on.
That's not a good time to be going, say what you will about Hitler, but, that's
the way he did things.
No, the mic is always on.
It's always on.
That brings us to Joe Exotic. He was in the news this past week. I'm sure he's a favorite of Uncle P's.
I don't know who Joe Exotic is.
Shut the front door. Oh, all right. Last year, Pete, when this pandemic first started, I'm sure you heard about Tiger King, that everybody, a sizable amount of the population was gripped with this multiple-part documentary, Tiger King. It was about these animals, it was more about the personalities that ran these animal, quote-unquote, shelters.
Does he have a collar around his neck?
Yes, he does. Oh, that's just the beginning with that guy. He was quite the personality. Joe is in. I can't believe it. How about that? Joe is in jail right now because he was threatening. There was a woman who was running a sanctuary, and Joe was running a wildlife. He would pretty much, display the cats. And her and this guy was at odds because he would breed cats, and then once the cats got too old to be, make money on display, he'd shoot them. Yeah. Messed up guy. And actually, he turned out he would get young boys. And he turned out this one young boy, and that's how he got with this one. Because then this one, the one before him, committed suicide. Right in the documentary, like it was right there on camera. Because there was footage everywhere. Because somebody decided to make a show with him, and that's what the documentary footage turned into. Or no, excuse me, the show. It was supposed to be a show, and then that's what that footage turned into a documentary.
People watch this.
It was, and you know what, Pete? It was early in the lockdown. That's what. Yeah. It was total brain candy. Total. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
he was in Tampa.
Where was Joe? Joe was in Oklahoma.
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, the other boy.
The Babe was in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah. She was in. He threatened to kill her, and that's how. Yeah.
Yeah, Dante. He showed me.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so he married this guy 2 months after his first husband committed suicide. Now, when somebody starts dating you 2 months after a regular breakup, that's when, and we've all been there, when you've made that deal with yourself, I'm the rebound, and then it goes either one or two ways. You either go, I'm okay with it, or you say, I love her.
What man isn't okay with being a rebound?
Oh yeah, no,
I mean,
totally. Yeah.
I think women are more. You only dating me because right. Men like, just give me the yams. Bro.
Right.
What you got? What you offering?
I'm good with it.
What does this include?
What's this package?
A dinner, a couple dates, a couple late night talk. Let me know what it includes, because eventually you'll get tired of me and go back to your ex anyway.
Right. He was so clearly he picked up on it, but he called Joe. Joe was actually a big old Trump supporter, P, and he was hoping before
he
Trump.
Looks like a Trump supporter.
Yes, and he was hoping, and that's ironic too. A big old, I don't know, but he was hoping for a pardon, because he's been on TV, and Trump, how Trump loves people that have been on TV.
Trump loves people with long money.
Yeah, and Joe ain't got that. No, he ain't got a dime. And so, so the young boy broke up with him. Called him, made that call. Dear John, what kind of call? The Dear John is a letter. Yeah,
Dear John is a letter.
Yeah. So what's the Dear John of the prison call?
I'm sure you received one of those calls.
I've never received
one. I've been locked up before, and I've never gotten broken up with.
All right.
While I was locked up.
All right. So we see.
I tried to break up with before I left.
Okay.
Because I understand there's no boyfriend, girlfriend. Right. When I'm locked up, you're going to do what you want to do.
Right. Free country.
She's like, no. And then she ended up doing
Liar.
what she wanted to do.
Stop lying to yourself.
But what does that turn me into but a heartless animal when I come home? So, you live and you learn.
When it comes to, in our next story, when it comes to avoiding child support, this gentleman might have to be summa cum laude. This gentleman is... Shoot, where'd it go? Oh, I lost it. This is a former Trump aide. We were just talking about Trump, but it's former Trump aide, and I lost the part with his name. This guy, anyway, we'll do it live. This guy, what happened was he was avoiding child support. So what he did was he set up a little deal with his company. He resigned from his position. Got severance pay, got $90,000 severance pay from his six-figure position, by the way. Then, the same day, they signed a confidential agreement, which basically gives them the same position back, same money, but now it's under the radar. Now, when he resigned, they published that in the newspaper. He's an advisor. He's a former Trump advisor, that's it. And so when he signed the resignation, that resignation was announced in the newspaper. The next week, my man was in child support court arguing that he can't pay the child support now because he lost his job. And he was citing the newspaper articles as proof that, hey, look, you see it in the papers, Your Honor. I'm broke. I can't afford these kids like she want me to. But then somebody leaked the agreement, so now he's in a bit of hot water about that. But you got to give it to him for trying. What he better hope, though, is that the kids aren't old enough to know what's going on, like to get wind of this and the reports that are out, because, yeah, they're going to carry some kind of grudge. Oh. And our final story, huh?
You ain't got no money, huh?
Yeah.
You just going to say you
Right.
ain't got no money, huh?
Right.
And you got all this money over here.
Right, that used to make me mad when I'd ask my dad for money on a day. I knew he got paid, and I'd be like, "Yo, Dad, can I get some? I'm going to dance."
You know, the system got me tied down.
Oh, you got money for that beer in your hand, nigga. Oh, but I can't go to the dance. Okay. Yeah. OP, I missed the story. The FA, there's an aggressive driving crackdown. This bad news for you, P, and people who drive like you. Patch.com announced.
Gonna put me out there like that?
Well, you said it last week on last week's show. P blatantly admitted to driving like Mad Max and on air.
Mad Max has devices and air flattening things and bombs, and I drive like there's somewhere I need to get there.
Okay.
I need to get to, and I can get there expeditiously if I drive correctly. A lot of people feel like they have all day.
Okay.
I don't like sitting in traffic, even though I am patient, right? I do
Right.
understand. If traffic comes, I don't mind sitting in it. But if there's no traffic, then I'm in and out of lanes like, Speedy Gonzalez.
There we go. And that's you they're looking for. More than a dozen police departments are on the lookout for speeding, distracted driving, and work zone awareness during an enforcement campaign that now runs through April 25th. So the heat's on until April 25th, y'all.
But see, I also know where the cops be at.
Okay.
So, I slows down.
Excuse me. Actually, this is a yearly campaign. So last year they wrote over 40,000 citations as part of last year's campaign, including 22,000 violations for speeding, 1,000 for occupant protection infractions. I'd imagine that's seatbelts, unsecured children. 3,000 for red light violations, and only 126 for impaired driving. E-enforcement is part of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Aggressive Driving Enforcement and Education Project. And it's funded by the Newtown Township Police Department investment of a federal funds from the National Highway and Traffic and Safety Administration. Departments in Delaware County that are participating include Aston, Chester, Glen Olden, Haverford, Marple, Lansdowne, Newtown. Just Delaware County, pretty much. It sounds like. Only one's missing something like a Collindale.
Ridley.
I'm surprised they aren't on there.
Ridley says we don't need that. We do that.
We do that every
the
day.
time.
Exactly.
With you?
That's what we call Tuesday. Right. Upper Darby and Yaden. So there you go, P. Behave yourself. Behave yourself out on these roads. And in our last story, if you've got school-aged children in Delaware County, the big news that you've been waiting for has finally come home. Students will be moving back to full in-person classes. Dun, 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 dun. When I'm delivering, I used to see those placemats or signs, excuse me. Reopen school, especially when the pandemic was just getting under its stride, and I'd see the signs that say reopen schools, give kids a chance, give parents a choice. And I was like, I don't know, people. Only thing I'm catching is I want to get this kid out of the house. I love him, but not enough to be around him every day, every moment of every day. Most school districts across Delaware County are transitioning to nearly full in-person classes in the coming weeks. Positive COVID-19 rates are decreasing. More teachers are getting inoculations. And the fatigue of virtual classes is setting in.
It's 3 months left of school. Why?
They gotta get them.
Why?
These people want their kids out of the
Why?
They want them
Why?
Because they're their children.
There's 3 months left of school.
That's what you get for breeding.
April, they in spring break right now.
Right. Exactly.
April, May, June. That's it. Then they're home for all the summer. So
why? I know those parents are dreading that too.
Why?
They need a break. That's what they want. I want some kind of break before this summer.
I feel like, they're your children. You don't need a break from your children. Right? When you need a break from your children, you got to look at yourself and say, what are the things that I value the most? Because your children should be that.
Okay. Right?
You should want to educate your children, spend time with your children, right? And
that's so special.
Yeah. And that's why we're jacked up. That's why we all fucked up and everybody trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
Ain't nobody spending time with the kids.
People,
you're not communicating to the kids. The kids are the future. And if you're not communicating to them, guess what? Your future is going to be fucked up.
Yeah. And I've seen plenty of times where you're walking in the neighborhood or I'm dropping off pack and I look and there's a kid just running around while the parent is just
looking on the phone, on Facebook.
Yeah.
You ain't paying attention to your kids.
Yeah.
You wonder why your kid grow up and shoot somebody. Oh, no, not Daryl. Daryl, what's up? No. Daryl was not raised by his mother.
Right.
She was there. No, she wasn't.
Ooh.
Wasn't as attentive as she was supposed to be. But yeah, I don't have a problem with them going back to school. I don't have a problem with them staying home either.
Okay. Right. Well, most classes, a lot of school districts had already moved to cohorts. At Chichester, some kids are going to will begin a 4-day in-person learning. 8th, 11th, and 12th grades. Garnet Valley. So pretty much school district. Yeah, Haverford, you name it, in Delaware County. Your kids are going back to school. It's all right, parents.
The Catholic schools have
made it.
The Catholic schools have been in.
Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Hybrid. They've been doing hybrid from the beginning.
Okay.
Right? If they got a lot of kids and they're trying to break it down, all right, 9th, 10th, 9th and 11th come in on this day, 10th and 12th come in on this day, right? And they're just making sure the kids are there. But, I don't see a problem with it. I've been walking. I ain't even going to do it anyway.
Well, you're not going to send them back, you mean?
Yeah, I'm going to send my kids back.
Okay, damn right. Get out.
Widener Partnership Charter School, they elected we're going to start off fresh next season. Right?
Okay.
Next school year.
Okay,
which
that makes
good.
sense. Yeah,
it makes absolutely sense. There's no reason to rush back. If we're doing things like this now, what is going to happen that's going to alter what the kids have learned or not learned
at this point
in the game? Because this the time of year where you're ramping everything down. You're not giving all the information.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
That's when you're trying to make sure I got everything graded as a teacher. You're like, yeah.
You're going to have final. All right, yeah, we're going to go over that for the next 6 weeks.
Right. And wrap this puppy up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
How many days of school are there really left?
And this is the part of the year. As a kid, you're starting to get ready to check out mentally as a kid anyway, let alone with circumstances as they are
60
right
days.
now.
60 days tops.
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
when they start looking at calendar.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. We got 48 days. We got 38 days left. Nah, it's about over. So why are we sending the kids back? Why is it such a big deal now?
Again, I want this kid out the house.
You can want him out the house all you want. Then when he's out the house, you're missing him.
Keep coming home and dishes ain't all everywhere. He keeps eating all the damn food. I buy the food and he eats it that fast. He's home all day.
He's home.
That's right.
Stop buying all the food.
Right.
Go shopping every day.
Every day.
Go shopping every day. Stop at the market. I got to stop at the market to get dinner. Right, dinner is tomorrow's lunch,
and actually you have less waste that way.
Yeah, but people just want to come in with 30,000 bags,
and have that.
Walking through the market with a cart full of stuff. No, then your kids sit there and eat all the food. Now you mad
just as quickly as they see it.
Every day. This is what I'm spending on groceries.
Oh goodness. So that brings us to the end.
To the end of the show.
Dang, that was fun, T. That was fun. And we're only going to get better, too. We're learning more. And, yes, I'm really enjoying it. Thank you for joining us, folks. The D-Train is always brought to you in part by the Mad Greek, located at 2805 Chichester Avenue in Marcus Cook. The Mad Greek, a delicious and fresh place that specializes in falafels, gyros, kebabs and salads. They serve a variety of Mediterranean food, including the best baklava that I've ever had. Did I pronounce it right?
Baklava.
Baklava. I just cannot. Baklava.
Baklava.
Baklava. The
Right.
best baklava I've ever had. And
is.
that is there we go. Nailed it. First try.
Right.
And they're located just north of 95 in Chichester Avenue. Call 610-494-0400 to order or check out the menu at madgreekpa.com. And
Ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
thanks again for joining us on the D Train with Darren DeVoue. On behalf of Uncle P, see you next week. Have a great and peaceful, productive, and positive week. What do you think about that, P? You like how I did that, people, right? I related it to the P and the.
Oh, you're relating words to P?
Yeah. I was brown nosing.
I'm gonna have some words related to D next week.
There we go. I
got you.
I was brown nosing. Yeah.
Right.
Get you run the station. Have a good week.